All right, so now going on to example number 3, we want to go ahead and again find the vertex, and this is written in standard form. And before we dive into this example, what I want to show you real quick is just review again from example 1 and 2. In example 1, I was given this function right here in blue, and then we were able to rewrite it in vertex form, which was nicely because we could tell that the vertex is -2, -13. And then our second example, we were given this function in black right here, and then we were able to rewrite that in function notation, or also known as vertex notation, and then we can tell the vertex is 1, 1, -1. Okay. Now, but when we get to a problem like this here, it gets really hairy, crusty, and crunchy here. You see, because if we try to follow the same steps that I showed you in step 1 and 2, you would need to factor out the -2, right? And if you do that, then you're going to have x squared minus 3 over 2x, and then minus 1. Okay, because if I multiply -2 times -3/2, I get back 3 right here. All right. So now we have to take -3/2, cut it in half, and square it. So it gets kind of crusty right now. I mean, because now we're dealing with fractions, and you can still do it though. But what I want to show you is that there's an alternative method to finding the vertex without doing this, without putting it in vertex form, and that's right here called the vertex formula. And that's what I want to show you now. But what I was started right now, is fine. It just takes a little more work, and your use of fractions become very apparent. So if you want to know where this formula comes from, it's basically it's when you derive the quadratic formula. And if you want to search that, you just go on YouTube and search driving the quadratic formula, and there's like hundreds of videos on that. I didn't make a particular video on that, but nevertheless, here it is. If you want to find the x coordinate of your vertex, then it's -b/2a, and then if you want to find the y coordinate of your vertex, you just plug in what you got for x into your function. So watch how that works here. If I want to find the x coordinate of my vertex, I have to plug in -b/2a. So -b/2a. Let's see what is going to be my b, which is going to be 3, and what's going to be my a. It's going to be -2. So doing that, I get -3/-4. So that's my vertex, my x coordinate of my vertex, right? So that's just the x coordinate. If you want to find the y coordinate now, I got to plug that in. So I'm going to do f of 3/4. So -2 times 3/4 squared plus 3 times 3/4 minus 1. The order of operations, I got to square first. So -2 times 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. Plus 3 times 3 is 9/4 minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this guy real quick. 2 goes into 16 8 times, so this is going to become now -9/8 plus 9/4 minus 1. And now we want to get a common denominator here, so I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 2, and I'll multiply the top and bottom by 8 to get a common denominator of 8. So here we'll have -9. 9 and 2 is 18, and that's going to give us -8, and that's all over 8. So -9 and -8 is -17 plus 18 over 8, which is just simply 1/8. Woo, man! Fractions up in the house. So actually, really, you could do fractions either way. You could do fractions using writing it in vertex form, or if you want to use the vertex formula. So the x coordinate, what was that? 3/4, and then our y coordinate was 1/8.